UFC press conference wrapped up a couple hours ago, and I'm going to make a video about this. This includes everyone on the main card, including Yuri Prochazka, Carlos Ulberg, Paulo Costa, Azamat Murzakanov, Dominic Reyes, who else? Johnny Walker, Nate Landwehr, Cub Swanson, who are now on the main card, Curtis Blades, Josh HOKIT, everyone on the main card. This is amazing. It was one of the most entertaining press conferences we've seen in a while. Most of the time, what did we have last time? Peter Yan versus Merab. Merab was good. Merab was good, but Peter Yan's not going to be too good either. Just aura farming moments, but we finally got an amazing press conference. We had Josh HOKIT going crazy. We had Paul Costa going crazy. But we're gonna talk about it. Yuri Prochazka gets the first question, bought question right away by the Mac Life. That fucking Irish guy by the Mac Life. I don't know what he did to get first question. Every time he gets first question, I don't know what he's done backstage to get the special treatment, but it seems to be always him. Used to be the fat cut guy, but now it's Mac Life, it seems. But Yuri gets a bot question talking about what he thinks about Carlos Ulberg compared to his other opponents. And you ask a bot question to someone who has English as their second language, you're going to get a bot answer. And that's exactly what he gets. Yuri Prochazka babbling a lot about whatever. Respect. Yuri's respectful. Moving on, he gets another question talking about his daughter. It's all right. I think Yuri's going to be a good enough father to where a daughter wouldn't be degenerate. I'm not saying, just because you have a daughter, she's gonna be degenerate. It's gotta, it's mainly how you treat her and raise her. But what am I saying, man? Women are amazing. What the fuck am I even saying? But yeah, if you didn't know, Yuri Prochazka is gonna have a daughter in about, I think, a week after his title shot. So, that's just gonna be even more heartbreaking if he loses, man. Come on, Yuri, you can pull this off against Carlos Ulberg, I believe. But yeah, he gets a question about that. Of course, Yuri Prochazka's focus on his mission said a badass quote earlier in the week where talking about how this affects him, knowing that his daughter's gonna be coming and he might not be there to see her be birthed, and he's like, I have my mission and my wife has hers. So badass quote by Yuri Prochazka. But then we got Josh HOKIT introducing himself as a WWE entrant. Shouldn't even be in this position, by the way. And he fucking maximizes on it. We all love Josh HOKIT. We love Josh HOKIT. And we will support him because we never see shit like this happen in UFC press conferences. And we are entertained. Finally, some guy who's willing to do some bullshit, willing to be a retard for our entertainment. Josh HOKIT comes out with a bunch of one-liners, rhymes. Comes out saying, what the fuck did he say? Let me see, guys. I got some notes about this because it's a press conference. I'm not gonna remember all this talk, but he's talking about I will never understand how Dan Hooker will like another man. This guy knows ball. This guy seen my YouTube video. He's seen my YouTube video. He knows exactly about the Dan Hooker situation from the Don's Dan Hooker allegations YouTube video. Then goes on, keeps on rapping, says no need to dread. Curtis Blades doesn't use his head, and judging by his bottom lip, his tongue is probably dead. Shit. If you guys didn't know, Curtis Blades has a stutter, and it's kind of funny. I don't know if I can put a clip up here of him stuttering, but yeah, it's a noticeable stutter, and it's kind of funny coming from a UFC fighter heavyweight that gets knocked out a lot. I'm just saying, man. But Paulo Costa next after that gets a question about Murzakanov, and Costa just rapid fire, just all starts roasting fucking Murzakanov, calling him fat. Doesn't really look that fat. I'll put a couple pictures of him. This guy don't look too. What am I saying, bro? Murzakonov's what, like 5'11", 5'10" for a light heavyweight division. So yeah, you are kind of fucking fat. What am I saying? Calls him fat as fuck. And then thanks his secret juice fans. All the people were cheering him in the crowd. Everyone's loving Paulo Costa in the crowd. And then I have here in the notes, threatens to rape him. I don't know what exactly he said. And I don't even know if I can say rape. So I'm going to leave this in the video and just say it. See if I can't say that word in the video. I don't know if this will get flagged. But yeah, that's what I have in the fucking notes. So I really don't know what he said. But I guess this is my interpretation of it. But Cub Swanson gets the next question, gets cheers from the crowd. Legend Cub Swanson. Apparently, this is his retirement fight. Gets asked about if there's going to be another fight that could ever make him want to rewrap the gloves. And he talks about his fight with Nate Landwehr, which is going to be a banger fight, guys. Let me just take a second to just talk about all these fights. Every single fight on this card is probably going to be an amazing fight unless Curtis Blades is winning. Then we're probably going to see some fucking snooze fests. But back to Cub Swanson. He's talking about his retirement fight. And this is going to be a banger, guys. Cub Swanson versus fucking Nate Landwehr. Definitely a TKO or a fight of the night worthy fight. But, yeah, Cub Swanson talking about a retirement fight. He said, this is the type of fight that I'll come back for retirement. And good respect to Nate Landwehr. We all know what type of fight they both can bring. But the next question is to Dominic Reyes. What do I have in my notes? Gets a question. Oh, yeah, fuck, man. Dominic Reyes gets a question, and poor guy. He's on the undercard of the man who slept him and took his title shot aspirations for this run, and now he's fighting Johnny Walker. How the mighty have fallen from almost a title shot to Johnny Walker. But now he has to be on the undercard or under the guy who knocked him out and is now fighting for the title that he wanted to fight for. So, you know, I can feel for you, Dominic. It's kind of awkward sitting up there with a motherfucker who knocked you out, man. And I kind of like Dominic. Not Dominic. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, Dominic Reyes. I fuck with Dominic Reyes, and I know this fight's gonna be a bang. Come on, Reyes versus Johnny Walker. This is gonna be an amazing fight. Prediction videos. Main card prediction video tomorrow, by the way. Watch that video. Yes, Johnny Walker gets asked about Dominic Reyes, and then base Johnny Walker says he thinks Reyes won the fight against Jones. Based Johnny Walker. We all know Reyes won that fight, but he also says, with all due respect, I'm going to knock you out. So, a little bit animosity there. With all due respect, I'm going to knock you out. With all due respect. Okay, I don't know if you can say with all due respect for that. But people forget, man. Johnny Walker was the man who was supposed to be John Jones before he got knocked out by Corey Anderson, the guy who's not even in the UFC anymore. I think he's in PFL now. Yeah, man. Battle of the Unks, though, we're bound to see a funny KO. I don't know if you guys know, both of them get KO'd in funny fashion. Johnny Walker especially, and then Dominic Reyes also just has a glass chin. So, I think Dominic Reyes is gonna win this fight. But then once again, like I was fucking saying, retard, extra chromosome reporter asking Curtis Blades if this win over a second unranked fighter would bring him closer to the title. And then even Curtis Blades was like, this guy's retarded. So if Curtis Blades noticed something is dumb, there's definitely a problem with these reporters. So step up your fucking game. But Curtis Blades responds in a dumb way, as this was a dumbass question anyways. Well, let's dissect this question real quick. This is the second unranked fighter Curtis Blades is getting in a row. For real? That's very disrespectful to Curtis Blades. I know. We all know he got a stutter. But that doesn't have to do with anything. He had a stutter, and he's gotten knocked out a lot. So, do we want to see him get knocked out again? I don't know if he's going to get knocked out by Josh HOKIT. But Josh HOKIT just fucking interrupts this boring dickhead in the middle of his response. And, what was he saying? Comes out with another fucking one-liner. Says, do you know what sexual position ensures you have an ugly kid? I don't know. But Curtis Blades' parents sure did. This fucking guy, bro. When have we seen some shit like that in the UFC press conferences, bro? But for real, though, kind of cringe, but I can respect the effort, man. Come on. Who's putting in this effort besides, Paulo Costa calling Mirzakhan a fat and being loud? Josh HOKIT's coming here with rhymes, and he's memorizing them. This guy gets fucking punched in the head for a living, and he's memorizing one-liners for the fans. So let's fucking give him some support. He responds back with the fucking stereotypes being alive once again, saying, what the fuck did he even just say? Apparently didn't understand what Josh HOKIT said after screaming it, saying it very clearly. But yeah, then they give Olberg a second chance, asking him another boring question, and then again another boring response. Potential light heavyweight champion of the world, by the way. Pay-per-view poison. I feel like he's gonna be like Adesanya as a champ if he does get the championship. Like, we've been seeing a lot, but he KO'd Dominic Reyes in the first round. He KO'd Alonzo Menifield in the first round. What, in 15 seconds that was? So we're getting these nice KOs on the come up. But I feel like once he gets a sniff of that belt and that championship pay, he's gonna, be a fucking unanimous decision fighter. So I just hope he doesn't win, man. I really hope Yair wins. But after that, Portuguese reporter asked Paulo Costa if he's gonna put his BLF title on the line. Best looking fighter. What the glaze? Fucking gay ass reporter talking about best looking fighter. Grown ass man, by the way. Paulo Costa then responds talking about secret juice, whatever, fucking secret juice. Calls Marzicana fat, funny, and then says he's nervous. But then we get a little kawaii, little cute bubble butt mic malfunction, which was funny, and I liked it. Brought a little mood to the press conference. Live, love, laugh. I liked it. But in the meanwhile, you got Josh HOKIT in the back off a perk, rocking back and forth. Fucking Percocet withdrawals in the back. I don't know what he was doing the whole time. I guess he was trying to recite his fucking one-liners. Then we go back to Azamat Mrzakhanov, and he gets asked if he deserves a title shot after beating Paulo Costa, because Strickland got a title shot in the middleweight division after beating Paulo Costa. And that's a valid question. But he's not getting the title fight if he beats Paulo Costa, which I don't think he will. But he's definitely not going to get a title shot after that. Mrzakhanov got 4 people in front of him. Khalil Roundtree, Carlos Ulberg, Yuri Prohaska, Magomed Ankalaev. Fucking Khalil Roundtree just got fucked up. And I think he would probably... I don't know, man. I don't know. Khalil Roundtree been getting bitched around a lot lately. So, yeah. I don't know who would win that fight, honestly. But you can't fight Khalil Roundtree because he just lost to Yuri Prohaska. You can't fight Carlos Ulberg because he's fighting on the title shot this fucking weekend. Yuri Prohaska, same thing. Ankalaev is really the only option, man, because you need one more. You're not going to get the title shot. So I book him versus Ankalaev if he wins. Same thing with Costa. Keep him in the light heavyweight division if he has an amazing performance, which I think he will do. But yeah, a niche-ass question after that. Paulo Costa gets asked about how he feels about Paulo Costa posting a video laughing at the Brazilian fans for believing that Azamat would come out with a Brazilian flag if they started to follow him, which he lied about. What the fuck am I even saying, bro? Niche-ass question, but Paulo Costa immediately interrupts, doesn't even let Azamat say anything. He calls Azamat a scammer, yells that he's a scammer. Very funny by Paulo Costa. Says he can't get no followers, that's why he wants all these fans, these Brazilian fans, and no one cares about him. And then after that, Azamat calls Paulo Costa he's going to be his biggest fan after Saturday night. Very clever response by him. Then Paulo Costa, funny Portuguese accent, says, fuck you. Then straight after that, the reporter asked Dana White himself if during the negotiations, if Alex was open to a return to light heavyweight. Then classic Dana White says, What? Who? Alex Pereira. Has to have the fucking Russian interpreter speak with his chest to repeat the question and speak it to where there was no question on if he could hear it or not. And then Dana White finally says, what? Me? Alex Pereira? Then answers the question saying, who knows? Classic Dana White response, who knows? Anything could happen. Let's wait for the fight to happen. Classic Dana White. Took a couple seconds to think of a corporate response. Then back to the Portuguese reporter asking Paulo Costa why he's so fired up about this specific fight. And I'm thinking the same thing. Why are you so fired up against Azamat Mrzakhanov going up in the light heavyweight division? And this motherfucker talking about, I'm so cool right now. I feel so fine. Motherfucker starts touching himself and shit. I feel so fine. I'm representing the Latino Hispanic community. Then he talks about that, then says, I don't represent these fucking Russians. Fuck these fucking Russians. Baseball Costa coming out of nowhere. Hates Russians. All of them. Then we get back to Yuri. He gets asked a question in his native language of Czech. And then I didn't want to know what the fuck. They didn't translate it. I didn't know what the fuck he asked. But based off the context clues on how Yuri responded, I think they asked about what Yuri thinks about this title shot, how it's different from the years past, and how, I don't fucking know, on if he thinks of every single fight as important as this fight. And then Yuri asked the reporter if he wants to respond in Czech or English, and then of course the reporter says respond back in Czech, in our native language. As Yuri's about to do that, Dana White whispers in his fucking ear some Israeli code, and then Yuri goes back and just fucking responds in English, which is pretty funny. But yeah, this is crazy, man, thinking about it. The last title fight that Yuri fought was 4 years ago, man. And that was an amazing fight against Glover. But 4 years ago, that's insane. I've been watching UFC for that fucking long. I remember that's actually insane. I remember washing dishes, bro. I was working as a dishwasher at fucking watching that fight. Wow, that's insane. No. It was the Jan Blachowicz versus Glover fight, and then the Yuri versus Glover fight. I was home watching that shit. I literally woke up my mom watching that fight. That was the only time I've ever woken up my mom watching a fucking UFC title fight. It's the best fight of all time, in my opinion. Best fight of all time. Go back to Josh HOKIT. He gets asked by a reporter, black reporter, based off how he sounds. He gets asked, how's the transition from NFL to UFC? And then Josh HOKIT comes back with a fucking rhyme. Says, I'm like if Derek Lewis wasn't so clueless. I'm like if Ian Gary wasn't a fairy. I'm like Song Yadong if he had a King Kong slong. A little bit corny with that one. But cheers. Cheers for him. Goes back to automatically rocking back and forth, perk withdrawals. On the real though, man, we gotta support these kind of fighters, man. I've said it before. We gotta support these kind of fighters when we can get them, because these guys get punched in the head for a living. They're not gonna put in the effort to try to be entertaining besides the fight. So we got this fucking guy being stupid in front of us for our entertainment. So let's support him, man. If he gets a boring win, let's support him. If he gets a first round KO, that's probably not gonna happen. We gotta support him the most. But soon after that, Yuri got asked about HOKIT, and then Yuri, cold response, says, who? Who? And then Josh HOKIT erupts back at him. Josh HOKIT starts talking in this fucking, I don't even know, this like Mexican accent, talking about, fuck you, Holmes. Man, you can get anyone in this fucking division, Holmes. Open division. Anyone from middleweight to heavyweight, Holmes. Anyone can fucking get it. I don't know if he's Mexican. Is this guy fucking Mexican or is he American? I don't know. Honestly, he's had 2 fights in the UFC, and I can't recall watching them, to be honest. Am I casual for that? I don't think so. But what was the next after that? Oh, yeah. After Josh HOKIT's little autistic rant, Yuri just says, do what you want. Very, very based by Yuri. Sigma, in fact. But yeah, man, not much after that. Josh HOKIT back with his fucking rhymes, and then we get another question for Carlos Ulberg. Message to New Zealand fans around the world: say anything you want. You're gonna have a title shot. Say something to your fans back in your home country. What do you have to say, Carlos Ulberg? And what Carlos Ulberg has to say is, we're gonna shock the world. That's it. That's all he has to say. No entertainment, just basically playing. And also, can I mention, Carlos Ulberg is looking a little fat for this upcoming fight. I seen he had a little shoulder vein, and in his new pictures, it's not even popping up or anything, and he's not really popping up with too much of a core anymore. So, is Yuri Prochazka, is my prediction really gonna be correct? Tomorrow, I'm gonna post my main card prediction videos. Tune in for that. Done and spoken.